ready. If you are.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Guy Who Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we are live on a Wednesday. The return, I don't know who
after
wants
a
this.
long ass break. Somebody want y'all. They actually voted, and they voted that they wanted it back.
I don't know why y'all want this. I don't know who wants this. I don't know
who is listening.
How many people gonna listen to this? I'm assuming it's 6 of us. I assume it's 12 of us. You know, I feel like, we are the survivors at this point.
Yes, we are. We are the Walking Dead.
Yeah, but as you can tell from either the title or the description, it's time, niggas. Okay, you schemed and you plotted,
right?
And you cried,
gave us gifts and shit. We was like, you know what?
Okay, you blackmailed us. You passive aggressive sent us gifts. Like we got a picture over here that's framed of a fake news article about the breakout for The Walking Dead. So I mean, shit. I guess we just have to give y'all, all the credit.
Give the people what they want.
The return of Walking Dead Wednesday is upon us.
It's here. So for those of y'all that stopped, come on back.
Just gonna assume that there's gonna be like 12 downloads for this.
all 8 of the people in the chat gonna be all 8 of the downloads.
Yeah. I'm assuming Karen's getting her life to this. I'm assuming that
because it's funny to me. I don't care.
I'm assuming that, because it's not just that we're reviewing a show that, started getting less and less, viewers and stuff. But we're also one of the only shows that is recapping it. I mean, these episodes came out a year ago.
We got busy, y'all.
This episode is from October 2nd, 2022, which is literally a little less than a year ago. We're only a couple weeks away from this being a year old, this recap. But honestly, once I started watching, I just remember how much I still love it.
Same.
We won't be able to have like YouTube clips and stuff this time because the YouTube clips also are kind of spoilery when I go look for them, and we're so far behind that if I search for the YouTube clips, I'm afraid I'm going to get spoiled.
Yeah, everything could pop up.
Me and Karen have managed somehow to stay unspoiled.
I don't know shit.
I don't know how the fuck we did it, but we did it, and so, I'm actually very excited to see how the show ends with these last 8 episodes. But I have a bit of a time constraint today because I have some other shit to do, and we basically have like an hour to do this. So, without further delay, let's go ahead and get into it. This episode is episode 17 of the final season, season 11, called Lockdown. It's directed by Greg Nicotero, written by Julia Richmond. Karen, let's start the way we always start. What'd you think of this episode in general?
This episode was good. I enjoyed it a lot. It was moving because it's moving. It has moved in the past, but now it actually everybody's kind of settled in, everybody's adjusted. Now they was like, okay, let's get shit to rolling.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think it was good. I think it just hit the stride. I loved everything about the action looked amazing. And we got some prominent features of characters that we really enjoy. So that was cool too. So yeah, I also was head over heels for this episode. Mostly because it moved fast. It was only an hour or whatever. A lot of times when they do these returns, we're back from a break.
It's like an hour.
It'd be a long ass thing.
90 minutes. Yes.
Yeah, I like that. It was just nah, we're
not doing
that. We don't need all that.
We don't.
So all right, let's start with the recap. I broke it into 2 groups, even though I could have gone a little further in my breakdown. I just broke it down into 2 different groups. Okay. The first group is the people fighting Hornsby outside the fence, outside, out in the community. This is like Negan and Maggie and Daryl, like all the people that used to hate each other working together. And then I have the Commonwealth, where a bunch of action went down with a bunch of different groups. I'll try to keep it as straight as possible, but they interacted with each other so much.
Correct.
I had to put a big block of text
all together. Yeah.
So I think we'll start with the Hornsby group first, and then get into the inner workings of the Commonwealth, because Commonwealth was off the hook this week.
That's where all the action took place.
Yeah, it was
all
the
drama.
So Hornsby group, the people fighting Hornsby. We start this episode with what I assume to be is maybe Judith in the future, or somebody like narrating about today or something. I don't even know who this voice was, but it's like a woman's voice being like, with a montage of everything, that's all the villains from season 1 till now of The Walking Dead, where you're seeing the governor and you're seeing the whisperers and all these people and the heroes, Rick and all them surviving them and all that shit. And it kind of ends this montage with, that was a long time ago and it's now. Will it be tomorrow? Like, will we ever get to live in like a civilized society again? Or is it always going to be us fighting these horrible villains to the death?
Right.
And trying not to become villains ourselves, and they're showing like Shane giving into the darkness and all this stuff. So the montage ends with Daryl and Maggie killing a bunch of walkers in an abandoned building, while Hornsby is outside with just unlimited trooper code.
Yes.
Like, I don't know.
They was like, how many troops you need?
Right.
You got them.
Right. Like, he just had buy one trooper, get one off, half off.
Yes, he did.
Sale or something, because it's just so many fucking.
He copy paste.
And they all ain't shit, because all of them are dressed in that like white plastic stormtrooper armor.
They all look like stormtroopers, y'all, for real.
And when there's a lot of you dressed the same, you can't fight for shit.
No,
that's just
can't
the rules.
Fight, can't shoot.
That's just the rules of TV. If they not showing your face, you can't fight for shit. You are expendable as fuck. It doesn't make sense if you think about it, because our heroes are almost never armored up. They're just wearing regular normal people clothes that look good on camera and help them look like movie stars. And then the other people are dressed in battle armor and they getting taken out left and right.
Yes, they are. I love it.
You can give a stormtrooper a concussion with a rock, but you shoot Luke Skywalker straight through the chest with a blaster, and he gonna live. So anyway, these motherfuckers is outside, and Hornsby is of course directing everybody with his Better Call Saul looking ass.
He does look like that dude, don't he?
Yeah, he got that
like an off brand.
And he got that cut on his cheek from like how he got hurt like the last episode, and he's like giving his speech like he's in The Fugitive. I'll search every window, doorway, stairway, hallway, outhouse, in-house, house music.
I want them dead or alive.
Pee-wee's Playhouse. Search it all. And then Daryl and Maggie look out the window and see him doing this, and they like, she's like, man, how many troops he got? And Daryl like, it don't matter. We're going to take them out one by one. And you know what? I believed him.
Me too.
Because he's Daryl Dixon and she's Maggie, and they can do it.
And we done seen them get through some situations.
Yeah, I think at this point, our troops, our people, our Benetton ad, our diversity and inclusion, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Our Neapolitan ice cream group.
Yeah, like the diversity, equity, and inclusion group is they are that girl. So I didn't know how they were going to do this episode, but I was like, I can see them spending an hour just carefully picking each one off like it's the fucking like Rambo in the jungle, and then at the end it's just them and fucking Hornsby. But I didn't know. So then they hear some commotion. They go by the door, hide in their position, ready to ambush whoever comes in. But it turns out it's Glenn, Aaron, Negan, and Negan's wife Annie, that black woman. Because he like him a black wife.
Yes.
Okay, this is canon.
Yeah, he likes shea butter.
This is canon. Okay. You see, apparently he went black when he had that harem. He never went back.
Never.
So they let Maggie know that Herschel, the baby, is with Elijah, and the baby is safe. Basically, just a way to keep the kid off the screen. And keep in mind, Herschel had been questioned by Hornsby at one point, and so we know Hornsby is not above using these kids to get to these people.
Correct.
Negan and Annie say that, hey, we here to help kill Hornsby. Gabe says, yeah, I hear what y'all saying, but we need to get our people out of the Commonwealth before we try to take down Hornsby, because he can basically radio back to Commonwealth at any time,
and all hell
ambush our people, because you still got like Carol, Ezekiel, Rosita, Jerry, the kids, Yumiko, Magna, maybe even Princess is still in there. Like
she got to be. Yeah, I think
like all these people are still in there, and so we start attacking. Going head to head with Hornsby. He gets on the radio, tells everybody, his agents and all his shit back in his spies back in the Commonwealth, hey, go kill these people, take them hostage, and they'll have no defense against that. So while they arguing over what they should do, like, we should just kill them now, no, we should make sure he can't radio back, Daryl comes up with a plan. He says, look, we can do both. Okay, Negan, Annie, they don't know what y'all look like,
but they know what we look like.
So we can't go back because he can just easily narc on us and then we'll get caught. But we can send Negan back, or we can send y'all back. And Negan says, I'll go by myself. Annie wants to go with him. He says, baby, you carrying a gut full of me. Okay,
you're not gonna be able to make this trip.
I can't let my black wife die for me. Okay,
I can't let my beautiful chocolate baby.
Okay, I'm Negan. I'm gonna be all right, but I need you to stay here. And so he looked her all in the face, like, all up in the eyes too, like
it was serious.
I ain't never gonna forget about you,
No, my chocolate gumdrop.
He asked Daryl what is the play, and that's basically how they end that scene, because they do that thing where they're not gonna tell us what Daryl told them, but they're clearly coming up with a plan to send Negan back, right? And his Ebony wife is gonna stay with the rest of them.
Come on, Ebony.
So she divested. Okay, she said, "This is a good white man. I know he might have tortured and killed y'all and had a harem, but he a good white man. He a provider. I know that much. He do be providing, and I stay in all the hair care products. My hair is glorious in the Z-Pot.
Come on.
How many of y'all can say the same?
Come on, I stand for Vanilla King.
Okay, he'll run up in Sally's for you, girl.
Come on, and know the products that I'm asking for too.
Some Commonwealth soldiers end up trying to take out a group of zombies. They get killed by one of them gets killed by the zombies, despite having superior firepower, armor, and the element of surprise.
They took him out. It was like lunchtime. Who ordered the DoorDash?
It's so wild. It's so wild considering how organized the troopers of the Commonwealth looked not too long ago, and now we're at a point where it's just like they can get killed just by fucking around and be like, oops, I slipped, and then zombies just eat them up. All that armor for nothing, just big for nothing.
And I wonder, maybe just me, I wonder if it has a lot to do with what is it? What's his name? Bimsy?
Hornsby?
Bimsy. Hornsby.
We're rusty. Karen we haven't watched it in a long time.
I'm sorry. Hornsby, it might show that he's been killing so many people that they kind of got to the bottom of the barrel of like the trainees. That might be one reason why because
well, has he been killing the troopers?
Not him, but he'd be like sending them off on shit. Because remember, he'd been trying to. He done a lot of shit.
That's a valid point. I don't know if they've thought about it as deeply as you're saying. Okay. I think it's just when you have 75 people in white armor, you're gonna kill 30 of them just because these are people that exist to be killed. They're not main characters. They add to some cool deaths on the show, and don't nobody give a fuck about them. So it's not like, but it is funny considering when we first met them, it was like, oh, these motherfuckers got soldiers.
Like they are organized.
And now it's just like, oh no, I untied my shoe. Zombie ate me. It's like, damn, what happened to y'all?
What happened?
Y'all used to be beautiful. So yeah, while this is happening, Negan pulls a whisperer move, but this is what's funny too. It's been so long. The show is like not bothering with certain type of details. So he ain't put all that shit on to smell like a zombie and walk. He came around that corner with a zombie mask on, walking casual as fuck. Like, he might as well have been whistling. And while the one soldier was looking at the other one die, he shanks that one to death, the soldier that was looking on. Mm-hmm. He takes their radio and their gun, tosses it over to a van that Daryl's hiding in. Daryl picks up the gun and the walkie-talkie, and then Negan steals the trooper's car and starts driving towards the Commonwealth. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is just another moment where I'm like, this is why our group is the coldest motherfuckers in this epoch.
Come on, ain't you know?
The way they just efficiently just dispatched with these two dudes, stole their shit, and now they're ready to distract Hornsby and all this stuff.
He was like, let's go.
Hornsby is now aware, because we kind of skipped forward a little bit. Hornsby is aware that one of the soldiers' cars is missing because they didn't check in.
Right.
And he's like, okay, we got to warn the Commonwealth because they probably heading back, and we need to let them know that these motherfuckers can't be trusted.
Yeah, before they get there.
Right. So the radio can't get a signal. The only thing he's able to get out before losing signal is just the name Daryl Dixon. But that's it. Just like Daryl Dixon, and it cuts out. He's like, radio guy, go off and get me a better signal.
And you know how they do with the radio, convenient radio. And
yeah, obviously Korean walkie-talkie, convenient radio.
Yes,
for the plot. But also the radio guy's like, sure, I'll run off by myself in the middle of this zone where all these people are looking to kill us.
Doing the most important job. I'll do it solo. I got you, boss.
So just as the guy runs off, Daryl starts bucking at the soldiers from that van, and he wings Hornsby
in the shoulder.
Yeah, but not like enough to like really stop him from doing anything.
Yeah, it might as well have been a rubber bullet. He was like, ooh.
Yeah.
He just bounced back.
On the radio, on the walkie-talkie, Daryl was tossed by Negan. Mm-hmm. He hears them say like, hey, we found Negan. Well, we found the stolen car. Somebody's in it. We're about to track them down. So then they go to flank Daryl, Hornsby, and his crew. But by the time they get there, Daryl's ninja'd his way out of there. He's gone. Mm-hmm. And when they look up, Daryl stole their car because he's Daryl fucking Dixon.
Right.
And he can do ninja shit. He stole their car. He tries to run over Hornsby, but can't. Hornsby ducks out the way.
Yeah, he got plot on. I was like, yeah, he probably would have normally hit him.
Mm-hmm. And so then Negan is getting in the car chase with the soldiers that are after him. They bucking from it's like some Fast and Furious shit. Shout out to the special effects and the action budget. Mm-hmm. It's been spectacular this last season or so. And so it looks like really good. It's in broad daylight, and they're just shooting up the car, and he's fucking riding, trying to get away. Daryl sideswipes the people.
Right. Nigga, like they see me rolling. Mm-hmm. They heading. I see going down the road.
Trying to catch me riding dirty. So, yeah, the budget was budgeting.
It was.
Daryl hits that car. Negan escapes. The radio guy later, and Daryl like sees him drive off and knows Negan's gonna get away. Cool. Correct. He's going back to the Commonwealth. Later, the radio guy finally gets isolated by himself and gets a signal, sets everything up.
He out there like a old school cell phone with an antenna. He was like, "Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Wait a minute, do I need to go up high? Can you hear me now?"
And so he finally got the 5G, and he's like, "All right." And you can tell it's such a TV thing because he stars like, CW actual, Charlie Washington actual, come in, Charlie Washington.
Shout out 0928.
And then, it's like, and all that shit. Then it's like, okay, I got a signal, and they like, we hear you coming in loud and clear, Bravo, give us a situation update. And it's like, okay, listen, something real important I got to tell y'all right now. Okay, so Daryl Dixon, and then before he can get it out, a hubcap gets thrown in his direction and distracts him. And he's like, let me stop my very important message.
Phone call. He was like, I'm gonna put y'all on hold. Y'all don't mind being on hold, do you?
I can relay the rest of this message in a second. And so Annie steps out. He points a gun at her because she's a black woman and he's a cop. And he can't help himself. It's involuntary at this point. And right when he does that, Maggie steps from behind, stabs him, and then destroys the radio. But unfortunately, Daryl's name did make it back to the Commonwealth, even though he wasn't able to finish the message. So they just know it has something to do with Daryl.
Right. They don't know what the message is.
Later, we see, even like I said, some of these details I think are just kind of funny because Maggie and Annie were together at this point. But later we see Daryl and Maggie together without Annie. They duck down an alleyway to avoid some troops. Maggie takes the time to say she's sorry that Daryl had to betray Leah and kill Leah to protect her, protect Maggie. Daryl says Glenn would have wanted him to protect her, so don't say you're sorry. Don't say
you try to give her a chance, and she said nope. He was like, okay.
Yeah, he's like, don't even worry about that. We family. So then Aaron, Gabe, and Annie joined them. So once again, we didn't really see when Annie split off. I think these are little details that don't take me completely out, but it's just things I noticed where I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and a lot of that, not your fault, they just sped it up. They was like, nobody gives a fuck. Like, we could have took a few extra seconds
but
to show you.
But I noticed because I pay attention and write the notes and watch it twice.
Right.
Like, I care. But yeah, it's little things I noticed like that where I'm like, interesting situation. So then they're surrounded. So basically, they find out they're surrounded. Annie and them are like, they must have just cut the scene, but they must have split up and said, Aaron, Gabe, Annie, y'all go look for a way out. Me and Maggie look for a way out.
Yeah, we just didn't see that conversation.
Yeah, they probably cut it for time. They come back together and they're like, look, ain't no way out. They behind us, they behind y'all. Annie says, what if we just go down into the sewer?
Yeah, what if they don't see us? Because they was like, if we try to go out on the streets, we're going to be seen.
So they go down into the sewer, and it's a huge sewer tunnel that is only exists in Hollywood.
Yes, that was a clean. I was like, the sewer does not look this fucking clean. Like, never seen a sewer this clean.
Not just clean. I'm not just talking about the cleanliness of it. It was huge. Like 30 people could fit in that sewer. Like, and I'm not exaggerating. Later on, we would see 30 people pointing guns at each other in that big ass sewer. It looked like the Ninja Turtles lair in the sewer. So, and anyway, in the huge sewer tunnels, Maggie asks if Annie is okay because Annie, of course, is worried about Negan. She's pregnant. Of course, this also shows how far we've come but all the shit that Negan and Maggie went through, when it was trying to kill each other and all this shit, and they now care about each other's families and stuff. And we know they got a spinoff show coming, Dead City, where they're supposed to be working together. So anyway, but I'm mostly just happy they never tried to give them like a romance thing.
Agreed.
Because I thought while the chemistry and them trusting each other was important and cool, it would have been too much for me for that to be romantic. And I know some people were trying to like hint towards them shipping them and shit, and I just thought that was completely ridiculous.
Same.
So, but yeah, she checks on Annie. Annie says she's okay. They just need to hurry up. And then they kill some walkers, and then Daryl realizes, wait, we're worried about trying to get up and escape. Why don't we make a trap and have the troops come down here?
Right.
So they start. Gabe shoots a gun up into the ceiling of the sewer, which seems dangerous.
Right.
But he shoots the gun.
I'm like, you ain't afraid of hitting the metal? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm confused and don't know how the shit works.
He shoots the gun. It draws the troopers down to him. The troopers come into the sewers. They get ambushed because Daryl and them set up some walkers as bait. They cut like the Achilles tendon, like it's Aaron Rodgers on Monday Night Football.
Oh no!
And then they take Hornsby hostage, but the troopers still have their guns. Everybody's pointing guns at each other like it's fucking Trapped in the Closet, chapter 39.
Yes.
And it's just ridiculous. And then it ends with the camera zooming in on Hornsby's face, and he's actually smiling. So we don't know if he just feels like he's still in control of the situation, if that's a false smile of confidence because Daryl's got a knife to his throat, but everyone's got guns to each other. So who knows where we're going to start with that next episode.
Right.
The Commonwealth. We go back to the Commonwealth. Now, I think last time we were in the Commonwealth, Connie had done a investigative report and leaked it to say a whole bunch of people were missing, and they think that Sebastian got something to do with it. They know that Sebastian, because he sent Rosita and Daryl, they know that Sebastian has sent people into like a house to get money because his mom cut him off. And of course the Commonwealth still has money. So his mom cut him off from her, her money.
So he would do these things to get money. And a lot of times he send them people out there and they would die. He wouldn't even think twice about them people dying.
Yeah. And also some of the troopers that work for Mercer, the big black man, the big fine black man, he killed a couple troopers when he found out they were in on it.
Yes,
he killed him in front of Rosita, and she saw it. So he has that secret because he was so pissed at them. So he has that secret that only she knows.
Right.
And so they deduced from all this that, what must have happened to all these missing people, Sebastian must be the reason that these people are missing, if I remember correctly. So now that everyone knows this and people have missing loved ones, they're all down at town hall and they are protesting.
Child, they like, all lives matter, all lives matter. The fuck is this?
No, I would not say all lives matter. That's the wrong side of this one. They're more like, we want justice delivered, Sebastian. Now, these are good protesters. These all lives matter are counter protesters.
Okay.
Yeah, they the bad guys. These are the good guys. We rooting for these people.
I understand, but because it was like a mixture, so many mixture of people, this was like a true, like if people will really talk about all lives matter, this is really would be what it looked like. So that, I'm sorry, I didn't explain the joke.
No problem. It's all right.
But like, cause the people was upset, and I don't blame them. I'd have been bad.
I just would never give I care for these people, so I would never.
I do too.
Put them in the all lives matter category just because I hate those people. So
yes, in reality, no.
Yeah, so
and it's fiction. In reality, a different story.
They were down there like, give us Sebastian. We just want look, come outside, Sebastian. We not gonna jump you. We just want to talk. And
they was out there like, lock him up.
Right. So meanwhile, Yumiko, who has, because she was a lawyer in the past, has moved herself up into the halls of power. She's inside with Pamela Milton, the governor. And
she done went right on up that corporate ladder, didn't she?
Yeah, in a power suit, looking out the window.
Come on.
And she sees
her kitten heels.
She sees Connie down there, and eventually Kelly and a bunch of people, and she sees they're with the protesters. So those are her friends, and also she knows Connie is the person that leaked the report. So then Pamela Milton gets on the intercom, and just in a weak, half-assed way is just like, hey y'all, it's Governor Pamela Milton. It's your girl. Don't believe what y'all heard about my son. All right, now they just be trying to red pill y'all. Y'all know my son. I know my son. My son wouldn't do that. Okay.
Yeah, she gonna PA announcement. They was like, boo, boo.
Also, today is Taco Tuesday in the cafeteria, so don't forget.
They was like, boo.
But no one's trying to listen to her. She's saying it's all lies. There's, we don't. And at this point, the crowd probably thinks she's either covering up for him, in on it, or just doesn't know what the hell she's talking about because no one believes her. She's not swaying anyone.
No, she's not. She hasn't built the trust. Like, a lot of people are like, hey, dog, like, your family's kind of shady.
Well, because of the system that they built in the Commonwealth being a class system and them being the upper class, there's a lot of people that have it better than they did outside the walls, but don't have it good. And if you're talking about my loved one being missing, it wouldn't matter how safe, quote unquote, this place is. People I love are missing, and your son might have had something to do with it. I'm willing to give up the ice cream to find my fucking son.
That's true.
Like, there's some shit people look the other way. Like, if it's someone else's family or somebody, but there's some of these people that are like, nah, fuck that. So
right.
in the crowd, Kelly asked Connie in sign language, is this what we wanted? And Connie's like, this is what change looks like. People still missing. They're somewhere. We not finna let off their nexus. And
this is what change looks like. Like, yes, you're gonna have people protest, people gonna be angry. When you put this information out there, people have the right to interpret it how they want to.
Connie's with the smoke, and we know that she has a stubborn determination of a survivor because she survived that whole season out there by herself.
Yes, she did.
And she did not miss a step when she came back. She's like, listen, I know what it's like to be missing and how it drives people crazy. Now, Kelly done like, I done got my sister back. Why we care about these missing people? She like, no, fuck that.
Right.
Magna looks on kind of concerned with her arms folded because Magna never trusted this system. She never trusted the Commonwealth.
From the beginning.
She immediately was like kind of lined up with the revolution. She immediately was in the working class people. So, I think she always was like, this place is some bullshit and eventually it's going to come down, which is kind of the theme of The Walking Dead. Every society breaks down.
Yes, sir.
Zeke is up there with his newly healed surgery, yelling, hell no, we won't go. We want justice. Deliver Sebastian. And he comes over to him. And they start discussing, should they leave or should they stay? Rosita walks over as well. So they're like, look, we need to get the fuck out of here because this shit about to come down. And Rosita is, remember, working in security with Mercer and them. But she ain't at work right now, despite she's at this protest, which
she's
seems
like, I'm
like
off the clock.
Which seems like a security risk, if you ask me.
Right.
It's like the opposite of security. But so she's like, we can discuss this later. We just all need to like get back home and talk about this. Because they're like, we should leave. I think Zeke thinks they should leave, but then like Rosita, Connie, Kelly, Magna are like, we should help these people get free.
Right. And also, particularly from Magna, she was like, all I ever did was run. Like, I'm tired of running. We need to stand up for something.
Right. So then Mercer comes over to Rosita. Like, for Mercer and his troops come through, but not in like a menacing way, but the presence of troops during a rally is always menacing.
All right.
But he comes over, and the reason I make a distinction is because later you will see some menacing troops. But he comes over kind of like to see what the fuck is happening. He asks Rosita, what you doing out of uniform? She's like, it's a personal day. And he was like, girl, not today.
Today is not a personal day. I need for you to put your uniform on.
She says, well, this is not my problem. This protest is not my problem, and it's not yours either. And he gets radioed, and someone's like, we need you in processing. And he tells Rosita, listen, suit up, and I'm gonna go to processing, but you need to go ahead and get in your trooper gear. Right. You coming to work today.
Get ready to get on the clock.
Right. Inside the governor's
he was like, why are you playing?
Inside the governor's office in the town hall, Pamela Milton is still on the intercom. Now, what's funny is in the scene, you can tell she was supposed to be talking the whole time into that intercom, but with what we just witnessed on the outside, we heard her. We never really hear her. So my guess is the people are so mad, you just can't fucking hear.
So loud, right?
Like, and it just says something about the cognitive dissonance between the people in power and the people on the street, that she's in the intercom being like, my son did not do this. We will get to the bottom of this. And on the outside, they're like, we want justice. We don't know. We won't go. Fuck you. And so it's such a disconnect. She's basically wasting her time.
Yes, she is, honey.
And so,
they're like, eat the rich.
Right. Yeah. That's what they need a Bernie character outside. But yeah, so then she, Max, oh, beautiful Max, comes over and hands Milton some questions from citizens for her to answer on the intercom. And ain't nobody listening to that shit. Matter of fact, we kind of cut away from that.
Yeah, I was like, that. That's like you going and we actually filter these questions, and we're gonna use like the easiest questions, and it's gonna be unrelated to the shit that's happening.
I figured, I wonder how they source the questions. I also feel like, there would have been plants, almost like a town hall. But I think what would have been funny is if they would have let us hear a couple questions and they would have had nothing to do with the protest.
Of course, they would have had nothing to do with
Okay,
the
question number 1 from citizen Jane M, who says, will there be tacos this Taco Tuesday? I'm glad you asked, Jane.
Yes.
Yes. We will be having tacos in the cafeteria as long as everyone politely, calmly leaves right now. We'll put extra double meat in the tacos. But if not, no one's getting tacos, Jane. Okay, let's go to the next question.
Here's a question from John, age 12. Yes. The question is, will we be able to have basketballs now? They're flat. We're gonna address that. We're gonna have the troopers go out and get you some pumps, and we're gonna be sure that we pump these balls.
He also asked a follow-up question. What is my favorite color? Oh my God, John. Red. Okay, yes. Thank you. Oh, these are so good.
These are so good.
But then
had an NPR voice.
So then, right, and that's how she's trying to calm the crowd with the NPR voice, but it's not working because their loved ones are missing and they think your son did it.
Right. They don't care nothing about your soothing jazz voice, ma'am.
There's no amount of calm down that's gonna fix this. So at any rate, Yumiko and Max talk. Max basically says, I'm still down for this. Because Yumiko's like, do you think Milton knows where her son is hiding? Max like, probably not. Sebastian's scared of his mama more than anybody else. And I still want to keep going with the plot to bring the Commonwealth down. And Yumiko says, then we're going to keep going. We cut the processing. Mercer is in there because the person that needs to be processed is Negan. And he called for Mercer by name and said his friend April gave him Mercer's name. Now, I can't remember the significance of April. I feel like April was like his
sister, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I thought Maxine is his sister, right?
Who is April then?
I don't remember. So yeah, I don't remember her like thing, and I'm scared to Google April,
right?
Because it's gonna tell me,
who knows what's gonna pop up.
Yeah, it's just gonna be like,
April is somebody else.
Yeah, it's just gonna be like she got killed, and I'm gonna be like, fuck. So April's somebody that means something to him, and I forgot who she is. But April said, but Mercer's like, yeah, April sent me or some shit.
Okay, they said she was the lady who died getting the money.
Oh, okay. All right, so she's one of the people that, okay, cool. So then only people that live in the Commonwealth would know, Mercer would know about that.
Correct.
So he's like, okay, who sent you? And Negan basically says he deduces from the question, because Mercer's like, what, you know what happened to April? And he's like, well, I know if you asking like that, it can't be good. And Negan is like, I ran into your boy with the suit, Better Call Saul.
Yeah, I did.
And Mercer says, hey, can you go get him some water so all the guards leave the room?
Yeah, and then they was like, you want to leave now? He was like, yes, now.
So then they can talk freely. And Mercer is like, what you really want? Negan's like, listen, Daryl sent me to get my people out of here. And Mercer's like, with the protocols and shit, I can't just let you in here. It's in the middle of a fucking like emergency situation. And Negan's like, if nobody else is playing by the rules, why are you?
Right. And nobody else gives a fuck. Why are you the only person standing?
It's a great point. So then we cut to Carol's apartment. Very clean. She's cooking pancakes. The baby's all there.
She with the kids. She the best babysitter ever.
Right. So she's teaching, she's like watching Judith, RJ, and Gracie. Because those are their kids. They didn't send them to school today or whatever. So they gotta, I don't know if it's in preparation for the plan or what, but they know Carol is the ultimate babysitter.
She was like, we gonna treat it like a sick day.
So Judith is like, hey, why you got all these surveillance photos of people that Kelly took just sitting out? And Carol's like, so we can keep an eye on everybody here and get to know the people who we could trust. And you can see they have pictures of people that maybe they suspect are working for Hornsby, stuff like that. Because Carol, of course, is always running counter surveillance. That's what she do. Don't let the fact she's sitting in there in a sweater cooking pancakes for these kids make you think she not also scoping out the scene.
Right.
So Carol asked if, because Judith is like, when's everybody coming back? And Carol's like, why, you miss Daryl's cooking? And she's like, hell no. She started laughing like, hell no, he can't cook. He can't cook nothing but campfire food. You got some s'mores up in this bitch? Nah. I like your cooking. And Gracie's like, well, my dad didn't know how to cook wherever he at. Okay.
She believe in her daddy.
He got to put his foot in it since he can't put his hand in it.
Right. It's gonna get done.
Carol looks outside at the people walking to the protest, and then happens to see a couple people walking the other way towards her apartment. And they look like, from surveillance, must be some of Hornsby's people. She packs all the pictures up that are surveillance and says, hey, we gonna play the quiet game.
Child, the kids know protocol, and child, you know, Judith is a G, honey. She like, child, y'all, you ain't got to say nothing but a word. I was surprised she'd be like, where's my weapon?
Right. Where's my sword? So they hide from the agents. The agents search the apartment. They give up after a little while, but not before they see a picture of the kids with Daryl, RJ, and
it was on the refrigerator, wasn't it?
Yeah, RJ and Judith. So one of the agents is like, oh, they probably at the school. Let's go check on the school. Meaning, once again, Hornsby's people not above taking your motherfucking kids.
Right.
Because what else are they gonna do? If they're not looking for Carol at that point, they're looking for the kids. If they go to the school and find the kids, and this is all off of them just hearing the name Daryl Dixon on the broadcast. Like, they don't even know what happened. Dude could have been calling in to be like, Daryl Dixon got hurt. They're like, nope, something up. So at any rate, they go to the school to find the kids. In the middle of town square, Jerry walks up on Negan very conveniently. Negan has been let in by Mercer. Negan says, look, I'm here to save y'all asses.
Nigga walked through there like he got an express processor for the passport. They was like, oh, we gonna up your charge for free. Come on through.
Yeah, he had TSA pre-check.
Yes, he did. He had clear.
So Jerry's like, yeah, I'll take you to Carol. They go to Carol's kid. She packed the kids up for a little adventure. That's literally what she said. We're going on a little adventure. They all got they like to-go packs on and shit. They go bags.
Everybody got go bags.
And Jerry and Negan knock on the door. Negan says, turns out you were right. I should have stayed in that goddamn cabin. Hilarious.
Yes, last time they spoke.
Negan reveals that Hornsby will use the kids to draw their people out because he tried it with Herschel and Maggie. He asked Jerry to keep Carol asked Jerry to keep the kids in an attic that's stocked with supplies just because they've been ready for this. And she says, tell everybody to be ready to move on my signal. She switched right into commander mode. And Carol says, me and Negan, we gonna get some insurance for our escape plan.
To go back to when they were looking, if I'm not mistaken, the same thing, when they was looking around, Carol was on the outside of the fire escape.
Yeah, she was hanging outside the window with a knife.
Yeah, and one of the person got close and she had a knife. I was like, oh, child, you open up that thing, you don't get fucked up like a G gangster.
Yeah, that's a great point. In the town hall, people confront Pamela Milton about hiding her son like Drake. And when they get riled up, because they see her like coming down the stairs, she got a new dude that's like a black dude that's head of her Secret Service or something.
Where he come from?
And he's not good at it. Like he's not intimidating. He doesn't have armor. He's wearing like a black suit. But at any rate, the people get riled up. They're like, "Your son did it. Where my fucking loved ones and shit?
Lock her up.
And
lock them up."
And Pamela Milton is shrinking in the moment. She can't get control of it. And so Yumiko comes over and calms everyone down with a leadership speech.
Yes, and the thing about Yumiko is she kind of related to the people. She didn't treat them like other. She was like, I'm literally one of you. And it was one of those things where for Miss Milton, for her, it was like She was very soft-spoken. She didn't know how to really take control, and she didn't really know how to relate to the people. And you could tell.
Yeah, Yumiko came down the steps like, I have a dream.
Yes,
and they was just started listening. She was like, we're going to find out what happened. We're going to update you at every step of the process. And it works. And this was after security had been like, y'all gonna get from around here. And everybody's like, nigga, or what?
Boo.
And then Milton shrank, and then Yumiko calms her down. But after the people leave, Milton comes over to Yumiko and implies, well, I know your little friend, the journalist, wrote that piece probably. And so what's up with that, basically? And what it made me think is, I wonder if Pamela just felt the writing on the wall, could kind of see what's happening. Mm-hmm. She is possibly about to lose power. It's very tenuous.
Correct.
And Yumiko just stepped up.
Right.
And they listened to her in the middle of this crisis. Mm-hmm. And she related to the people in a way that the Miltons can't at this point.
Right.
So outside, people still mad though. So they got out the lobby, but outside, people's like, down with the Miltons. And they see Pamela like being escorted out by the Secret Service into an armed vehicle where she's driven off. But the whole time I kept thinking like, man, you could tell life is good for these people because they soft as room temperature butter, because she was right there. Y'all could have threw rocks, y'all could have did something,
right?
But y'all didn't. Y'all really just was like, come on, man, you know,
upset.
Give me my son back, please. Milton gets on a walkie-talkie in the armored car and says, B-14, do it right away, as she's driven off in an armored car. Mm-hmm. I'll get to what I think B-14 is.
Right.
So Magna meets Yumiko in a park. They sit on a bench. Yumiko's like, this is really me warning y'all that Milton knows Connie did that shit. Mm-hmm. And you was right, Magna. You always thought this was some bullshit. And I'm going to help get y'all out of here. And of course, Magna's like, you mean we get here? And Yumiko's like, no, I'm going to stay because I got to support my brother, Tommy. And Magna's like, either we all leave or nobody's leaving.
Right.
And Yumiko's like, you stubborn. And they used to date. So Magna's like, that's one of the things you liked about me. But assuming Magna's gonna go tell Connie. Mm-hmm. Over the intercom, you get in the park, you hear as they're sitting there, they get interrupted by an order to lock down. Mm-hmm. It's like, guys, we need to lock down. We got emergency order. There's a herd of walkers 5 miles outside the city. And it's the head of secret security. He comes out of the town hall with a megaphone, like, listen, everybody, go home. Walkers are coming, street lights. Okay, if you outside at the street lights, you getting the whooping. We go for your own safety.
Now they was like, boo. And I was like,
they weren't like boo. They started going home.
I mean, yeah, initially
these niggas is soft.
Okay, yes. Initially, yes. They was like, you know what? Yes, let's go home. And I was thinking, this sound like they went and herded them walkers so they could force people to go in.
There's two things here. One, I like the idea of a community treating walkers like a natural disaster. We've covered this several times throughout the Walking Dead, but it's actually really smart. A herd of walkers should be treated like a hurricane.
Yes.
And they start putting out the hurricane protections and everything in the city. But very convenient timing. That would fuel conspiracies, because as unrest is happening, as you're zeroing in on the leadership protecting the 1% essentially that you think has been responsible for all these people going missing, all of a sudden convenient herd of walkers, and we have to be locked down.
Right. And in the house and shit.
That's what I think when she said B-14. I think B-14 isn't code for let's have a lockdown. It's, hey, initiate the plan to let out a group of walkers, come towards the city. Yes. And then we use that as an excuse to quell the unrest and calm shit down.
Yeah, that shit only lasts temporarily, and after you kill them, right. I was gonna start as people gonna be back at it again.
And because they're missing loved ones. There's nothing. Correct. You might have bought yourself a little bit of time, but in general, people ready to risk it all for that.
Yes.
Now maybe we'll talk later about it, and I can see maybe it playing out a different way, but it depends on if you got the heart to do it. And I think this whole town is soft, including the security people. They soft. They not really about to do what it would take to really squash this whole thing. So anyway, the Jerry and the kids, and this is all like the timing gets kind of weird here. I'll get into that in a second. But Jerry and the kids are chased by Hornsby's secret agents that came to the apartment, but they get some people to run interference for them to stop the people from chasing them, and they go and hide up a fire escape, and the people and then just a near miss. The people don't find them essentially.
Right, they chase them like a RPG player when you're like in a Call of Duty, something like that, and somebody walks up, get real close, and then almost resets, and then just go back where the hell they came from.
Yeah, it was like they glitched out or something.
Yes.
And but it was just like a simple way to have them escape. That's really what they needed to do. Negan and Carol break into the city planning office to find blueprints for the Union Station, because she says, hey, the dude was in the Union Station, which is their city hall, when the protest broke out, looking for him. Ain't nobody seen him outside. We think he's hiding. I think he's hiding somewhere here. Blueprints will help us find him.
Right.
Negan tells her, I got married. I got a wife. He didn't tell her she was black, though. Maybe he didn't want to stunt and be like, she also a gorgeous black woman. I know you into the swirl. Okay, you and Zeke. Right. Maybe we should get everybody together, go out for dinner.
Double date.
Extremely progressive white people. But at any rate, Carol basically understands that he's worried about his wife. She reassures him that it'll be okay. I already said Jerry and the kids. Okay, so then Rosita and Mercer go on patrol with the rest of the troopers to try to kill the walker herd. So they're going outside the wall to stop these walkers.
Right.
Carol and Negan find Sebastian in a hidden compartment. He's sleeping on a cot. They yoke his ass up. He reaches for a gun. He's like, what do you want? And when Negan stops him from grabbing the gun, he goes, do you know who I am? And Negan goes, oh, do you know who I am? And I'll just start laughing.
Yes.
Like, yeah, you don't want to know. Carol says, look, I'm taking you to your mama. He's like, nah, fuck that. And she's like, Negan says, listen, I'm sorry, no. Sebastian says, my mom don't care about me. She's like, nigga, that's your mama.
Right.
He's like, Commonwealth is her kid. I'm just a prop. And Negan just laughs at this spoiled entitled bullshit. And he's like, listen, if Carol is giving you an out,
child, you better take it.
Take it. She giving you a life raft. I don't watch this woman kill so many people. She could have just walked in here and killed your ass and been like, I found your son and brought your head back.
Come on.
Just fucking do what she says.
Yeah, she'll take out anybody. She'll take out the kids. She'll take out the adults. Honey, don't fuck around with girl.
Right. So then in town square, after the curfew, people are mourning their missing family members with a candlelight vigil. And what I think is interesting about this is that it's definitely nighttime because it's after curfew and they're not supposed to be out. Later, we will cut to Mercer and Rosita outside the walls and it's daytime. So I don't know if they're saying it took them all day to get outside the gates and they were actually fighting the zombies the next day, or if they just got the timing messed up in the episode where these things were happening simultaneously and they just kind of forgot that, oh, we filmed this one scene at night and this one scene is happening in broad daylight. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, but I just wanted to point it out because it's something I noticed. In town square, like I said, the mourners are there and they say, we not moving until Sebastian is brought outside. The troops get into battle formation. And the reason I think this scene worked for me is that I believe if a convenient herd happened and a lockdown happened when I was protesting for my loved one, I also would be outside still like, man, fuck a curfew, fuck a lockdown, bring this nigga outside. Y'all want us all to be inside so y'all can help them escape or some shit.
Right.
I'm not taking my eye off for this fucking place because then tomorrow when we come out, y'all gonna be like, I don't know what happened.
Correct.
So it made sense. Negan and Carol see this confrontation happening because the head of Secret Service comes in and is like, we got a problem to Mrs. Henderson, whoever that is. He's like, we got a situation. And he now has his troops and they spread out like they ready to fucking like fight, you know? So then Negan and Carol try to sneak Sebastian out. But this random dude walking down the street recognizes Sebastian in a hoodie, which I love this because this never happens on TV shows. It's always like if you wear a hat or a hoodie, suddenly you're invisible.
Yes.
Like
they was like, no.
And this dude was like, wait a minute, that's Sebastian. That's Sebastian.
I know who this is.
Nigga's like, don't worry, I got it. And he tries to stop the dude. But then one of the troopers knocks Negan down, hitting him in the back of the head. And the head of security, Secret Service dude in all black is like, shut up and listen. Y'all shut the fuck up. Everybody shuts up because these niggas are soft. Okay, these people have had it nice. You at a protest, someone tell you to shut up, you do it? That's the opposite of a protest, but okay. They're so quiet, they actually hear the zombies outside. So now the conspiratorial part of it is like, wait, there really are zombies outside.
Right, like they ain't fucking with us.
Right? I would imagine up until this point, they were like, y'all are pretending there's zombies outside so y'all can make us go into lockdown. So this kind of would throw these people off because what they aren't thinking is y'all released the zombies outside to make us go into lockdown, right?
Right.
I just thought it was like a cool psychological moment. At any rate, so dude is like, fuck it, they ain't leaving. Fuck them up, and
they put out the tear gas, and I'm surprised they ain't hit it with the bean bags.
The fact that they have gas grenades and non-lethal measures shows you how good they have it in Commonwealth.
Yes,
because any other Walking Dead community, they would shoot you because that's what we have is guns.
Right.
We don't have gas.
Put the tasers out.
Yeah, like nah, we fuck you up. We kill people. Everything is a one strike law here.
Yes, it is.
Mercer and Rosita outside the walls is broad daylight, even though it was just dark in the scene before.
Right.
I'm sorry. And then we do watch the crowd disperse, and Connie and Kelly and them were among the crowd.
Yeah, and they coughing and shit.
But they never get caught. They just go home. Mm-hmm. So once again, could just be that this next scene doesn't happen till the next day for some reason. Right. It just took that long for them to get out there, even though they showed us them leaving not, that long before this. Anyway, so basically they find out like the walkers got too close. She says how they get this close. They made it past these other outposts. And he says because somebody wasn't doing their job. And Rosita says that seemed to be happening a lot around here. My guess, that means Mercer's not in on plan B14, which was probably to let the walkers pass the outpost area.
Yes.
And which makes sense because he didn't know about them rogue troops that were helping Sebastian that he killed.
He probably not in the loop at all.
He probably thinks he squashed the problem by killing them.
Yes.
Well, he really didn't. The corruption is too strong. So he thanks her for, he's like, he apologizes to her first of all, says, I'm sorry you had to see me kill them troopers the other day. She's like, I watch people get killed all the time. It's not a big deal. He's like, I need somebody I could trust out there watching my back. And she said, well, don't ask me because I care about my family first. And if it come down to it, I'm protecting them, not you, not the Commonwealth. I can give a fuck. And he's
like, she kept it real.
He said, I respect that. And I'll help you get out if you decide to leave, which, they may need to because they're going to need an escape plan if they decide to get the fuck out of here.
Agreed.
And right now they don't really have one. They get a radio call to help some troopers fighting some zombies. They drive out there. Rosita hops in the back of the Jeep. Once again, special effects.
Like a gangster.
She mans the gun turret in the back of the Jeep, and it looks like Halo. If you've ever played Halo, where one person can get on the fucking gun in the back, it looks so dope. And they had like the zoomed out shot, which was gorgeous. Some drones. It looked amazing. And she, of course, was just bucking, nothing but headshots like that Rambo movie that came out a few years ago. They pick up one trooper, but he is really no help because he lets his partner get killed after they done crashed the van. Once again, these motherfuckers are losing recipes. These are not the best troops.
No, this is the bottom of the barrel.
Like, how did you crash the van, nigga? There's nothing going on out there.
They was like, draft. We gonna just draft them.
So they crashed the van. This motherfucker they pull one dude. Mercer tries to pull one dude in. Dude gets ripped in half by zombies. It's very gross, very cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And then finally back at Milton's crib, she is getting drunk early in the morning. So I guess this was the next day. Maybe that's why
it's the time to drink.
Maybe that's why I was light outside. It was the morning. It must have been the next morning. So she's drinking. Yumiko comes in and is like, and she's like, girl, you want a glass? She's like, bitch, it's 7 a.m. or whatever. Like, get yourself together. And she's like, and Yumiko's like, why you tear gas my friends last night? And she's like, do you really think your son isn't involved in this? And Pamela's like, look, he just rebelling. He just young. He's just a kid being a kid. He's just a 40-year-old kid acting out. This is what happens to all the men in my family, but they eventually grow up to be great leaders. He's not a killer. And Yumiko says, well, I might have to defend you in court. And she said, well, that's funny because you friends with the bitch that exposed me. So how about that? And then right about then, Carol comes in with Sebastian and says, look, I brought him home. Milton hugs him, smacks the shit out of him. And she's like, did you have something to do with this? And he's like, no, I'm just an easy target. It's all lies. And Carol says, well, then maybe we can help each other. I don't know that Carol believes it's all lies on this shit. And of course, they know from the mansion thing that some people been going missing and dying in that house. And he was the person that sent them in there.
Right. And I was correct.
So Carol says, basically, look, we can help each other out. Hornsby is after my friends outside the walls. We can give the people somebody to blame other than your son.
Right.
And I think that's the way out, is to basically say, we'll give the people a scapegoat. Hornsby is the one that's been going around disappearing everybody, which he is also been disappearing.
He's been going
people.
Around fucking people up.
Yeah.
Right. Because, it's been times where everybody, leaving, he'll come and just maul everybody down. It was like, well, damn, dog.
So it gives an out for everybody. And that's where it essentially ends. We got to get out of here. Like I said, I have to go. Karen, I would say what we were looking forward to next week, but there was no preview at the end of this one.
It wasn't.
Because at the time they were promoting Interview with a Vampire and we weren't recording that. So we'll be back next time we do one of these recaps. I hope y'all did enjoy this.
I hope y'all did.
Definitely let us know, leave us a comment, all that stuff, because we're doing this literally for y'all. And it is work, and I know it's a year late, but I hope y'all enjoying it anyway. All right, until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye everybody. Peace.